started. May we please Chinedu Amadi and Dr. Apero, CFR. Please, let's settle down. We're going to get these events started.
Your Excellency, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, my former colleague, me, I know who my colleagues are. If you don't know who your colleagues are, now you're thorough. I will crave the indulgence of the Royal Majesties and Royal Highnesses that are here, distinguished senators and members of National Assembly that are here, to allow me to recognize in a special way, to commend in a way that is very unique, to appreciate in the way that she must be appreciated, my sister, Mrs. Titi Atiku Abubakar. When I got the invitation to attend this anniversary, and when I was interviewed as I was coming in, I said, time flies. It's already 25 years when we brought this into what it is, not when it was incubated, as we heard from former Vice President, that it was incubated 30 years ago. But then, 4 groups of people worked hard to take it from incubation or from idea to reality that we have, and the tremendous work that has been done, and great achievement over the past 5 years. Of course, the founder, Mrs. Titi Atiku Abubakar ourselves, we thank you. And we thank you again. My dear colleague, former Vice President, I thank you for thanking her. Because it's one thing for a woman to have an idea. It's another thing for her to get support, particularly at home. So we got home support, domestic support. I won't go into the other room support. I will also want to thank the National Assembly and the leadership of the National Assembly at that time. Former Vice President has referred to some of them who gave support. One of them is looking at me with koro eye now. Minister, Governor Sule Lamido, I'm referring to the man on your right hand. I won't mention them. We thank you and your members who gave the support that was needed at that time. So, we have the domestic support, home support. We have the legislative support. And then, of course, the executive support was not lacking. And then together, we were able to achieve what today we are celebrating. I believe the lesson from there as the former Vice President said, is that when we have all hands on deck, a lot can be achieved for the good of this country. But when we look back, we see how many have benefited from the idea, inspirational commitment of Madam Titi Atiku Abubakar. So whoever says one person does not matter, you can see that one person with the right idea and doggedly pursued can achieve a lot. And of course, one person with devilish idea, again, doggedly pursued, can do a lot of harm. I come here to thank and celebrate the founder and to celebrate what has been achieved and to felicitate with those who have benefited from saving them from trafficking, human trafficking, saving them from child labor. It was a blot on Nigeria. That you go to Italy, you go to Spain, and you see what they do with our young girls. And you came up believing something can be done about it. And you started, and something was being done about it, and is being done about it. At that time, I was worried. We even appealed to the Pope in the Vatican to help us. We appealed to governments in Europe to help us. Some didn't believe that they should help us. But of course, like in all things, the best help is self-help. The best help is self-help. And I remember, just to amuse you a bit, when in 1999 we were campaigning, and Alex Ekweme was a candidate, or not a candidate. He was campaigning to become a candidate, and I was campaigning to become a candidate. I believe that's what happened. Then I went to him, and I said, Alex, look, the road to get to your house is very bad. Why don't you allow me to be president? And one of the first things I will do is to take care of the road to your house. And he said to me, yes, the lesson I told him I learned, that what you can do for yourself, don't give it to other people to do for you. He will not want me to do it for him. He will want to do it for himself. Self-help is the best help. And we need self-help in many areas of our life in this country today. And unless we help ourselves, looking for help outside may not get us there. And we have men and women, young and not so young, at home and abroad, that can come together and give ourselves self-help that we need to take Nigeria out of the rot that we have, to take Nigeria out of the hardship that we have, to make Nigeria what God has created it to be, a land flowing with milk and honey. And I'm here just to say, not that I have a dream, because I'm not a dreamer. I'm an action man. And I believe that we can act together and get Nigeria to where it should be. That is the lesson that my sister, Titi Atiku Abubakar, has taught us with World Club. Thank you, and thank you.
Can we please give His Excellency a big standing ovation? Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much.
Chairman of the occasion, Your Excellency, President Olusegun Obasanjo, former President of Nigeria, my dad. The special guest of honor is unavoidable absent. That is I don't know if somebody is representing President Jonathan, Vice President of Nigeria, GCON, our chief host, and my darling husband. Order of the day, my Excellency, Chief Atiku Reunite, ably represented by the wife of the Vice President. The guest of honor, distinguished Senator Pius Tayen, GCON, former Senate President. Our mothers of the day, Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Maria Sani Abacha. She has left, and I don't think she came purposely just to be part of us, but she's not feeling well, so she's gone. Her Excellency Atiku Reunite, I expected her. I don't know if somebody is representing her here. Her Excellency, dear patient Jonathan. I think Mrs. Lee is representing her. The no speaker, Justice Mary Odiri, Justice of the Supreme Court, ably represented by Your Worship, Amabuchi Uyendu, Judge of the District Court, President and former governors here today, President and former governors' wives, distinguished members of the National Assembly, diplomatic corps, World Club partners, World Club Board of Trustees, World Club ambassadors, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. With due sense of motherly disposition and passionate feelings, I feel greatly delighted to stand here and address you on this auspicious occasion of the Silver Jubilee celebration of the establishment of my foundation, Women Trafficking and Child Labor Eradication Foundation, Worldwide. I am particularly elated by the realization of the fact that when we created this foundation exactly 25 years ago, only a handful of people gave us any ray of hope of surviving beyond the tenure of my husband as the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But to the glory of God, today, the then proverbial mustard seed called wike that was planted on the fertile field of human liberation and women's dignity has, within the space of 25 years, significantly grown into a plant. The plant later developed into two significant trees, which are the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons and Other Related Matters, NATIC, and the network of all the NGOs against child trafficking, abuse, and labor, NAMTA. Millions of Nigerians, especially our women and children, have, like the proverbial birds, consistently perched into their branches, eat of their fruits, and drink of their juices. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it will interest you to know that my motivation to establish a foundation to frontally confront these manifestations of modern-day slavery in all its dimensions and ramifications was a divine mandate from God. 4 decades ago, as a student in school, hotel management at the prestigious Scholar Internationale de Sciences Justice Rome, I identified human trafficking and prostitution of our young girls and women as a hard nut that must be cracked. I saw the way our young girls were being degraded in dignity, in worth, in values, and being reduced to objects of sexual commodifications in the city of Italy, thereby giving our dear nation a bad image abroad. This ignited the motherly and the patriotic instinct in me, and I made a vow to God to put an end to this horrendous practice if I had the opportunity to get to the position of influence and power. In May 1999, God answered my prayers when my dear husband was sworn in as the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To me, I figured out that all forms of sexual exploitation are incompatible with human dignity and therefore violate fundamental human rights regardless of age, gender, race, ethnicity, or class of victims. We fight to save animals. We fight to preserve our environment. We fight drug trafficking. We fight currency trafficking. Why not fight to safeguard and preserve human dignity? And the outcome of this initiative is why we are all here gathered this morning to celebrate our modest achievement. There is no doubt that in the last 25 years of our existence, what has passed through murky, sneaky, and windy terrain. But the gains recorded so far outweigh the challenges we encountered. So far, over 14,000 victims have been supported since inception of wike, made up of victims of human trafficking, child labor, smuggled migrants, as well as victims of sexual and gender-based violence. Wike sustained its counter-trafficking partnership with NAMTA in line with the 5 strategic pillars of policy: prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnership. You will agree with me that with wike, the trajectory of human trafficking has changed positively. The awareness against this scourge has been massive and impactful, while the fortunes of women's status have continued to sway. Our story has been a story of challenges defined, obstacles overcome, and new horizons discovered. In December 200, Wycliffe was part of the federal government delegation led by the then Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Alhaji Sule Lamido, to the sign-on ceremony of the United Nations Convention on Transnational Organized Crime at Palermo, Italy, where I was privileged to deliver a comprehensive paper on the role of the rule of law in abolishing modern slavery, controlling the global sex trade. 2 years later, in 2002, Wycliffe was granted a special consultative status with the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations, ECOSOC. This entitled our foundation to appoint a representative to the UN office in Geneva, Vienna, and New York. We also carried out advocacy visits to almost all 36 states and FCT, where we formed Wycliffe brigades in primary schools, Wycliffe vanguards in secondary schools and tertiary institutions, and Wycliffe clubs among the civil society groups, as well as Wycliffe NYCCDs among the youth cohort members in all the states visited. We equally collaborated with the NYC on the community development initiatives on human trafficking, the NURTW on the campaign against the use of underage children as bus conductors in motor parks, the Ministry of Health in Health on Nexus between human trafficking and HIV/AIDS, the Ministry of Education on the advocacy, sensitization and awareness in various schools, where we initiated national television program on NCA called Izozo as an additional tool of advocacy and enlightenment among the general public. Wycliffe work with partners, with embassies, MDAs, academias, religious institutions, traditional rulers, the press, public-spirited individuals, and corporate bodies. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to use this opportunity to immensely appreciate our former President, His Excellency Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, DCFR, for graciously giving his presidential assent to my first private member bill that established NAMTI in July 2003. We further boosted and consolidated our legacy of hope in this fight against human trafficking in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Sir Maidani. Also mention must be made of the 4th National Assembly, headed by the distinguished Senator Ayim Pius Ayim, for graciously enacting into law my anti-trafficking human trafficking bill in 2008, which gave birth to NAMTI in the same year. I'm equally grateful to the 17-member bill drafting committee, headed by my dear sister, the First Lady of Rivers State, Justice Mary Odili, retired Justice of the Supreme Court, for doing a human job in putting the draft bill together. I am appreciative of the effort of Wycliffe Board of Trustees from inception till now for their wonderful support, wise counsels, and quality contributions to our success story. I commend all my principal staff in the villa and other officers who worked with me in the office of the wife of the Vice President for your being always alive to your responsibilities in the course of our advocacy campaigns across all states of this federation. To the hard-working, focused, diligent, and ever-willing Wycliffe team, from inception to date. I say a very big well done to you all for working assiduously towards making Worldcare the flagship and the pace setter in the crusade against human trafficking. Locally, regionally, and globally. I am grateful to the NATIC team for its partnership and for keeping the candle of the crusade against human trafficking burning at all times. Kudos to our local and international partners, too numerous to mention. Our donors, public-spirited Nigerians, other stakeholders in human trafficking space, and members of the fourth estate of the realm, the press for believing in our mission, our vision, and our core values. I equally commend and appreciate the umbrella body of all NGOs in Nigeria and the West African sub-region NAFTA for complementing our efforts in this crusade against human trafficking and child labor and ensuring that stakeholders are in the same boat in the voyage of our journey. To all my children in the rehabilitation centers across the country who are human trafficking survivors, the rehabilitated, the reintegrated, and the empowered survivors, I love you wholeheartedly and everlastingly. Let me reiterate the fact that the restoration of human dignity is a passion I cherish, and I'll continue to cherish for the rest of my life. In the words of Church and English poet, he says, and I quote, "I'm not covetous for God, nor care I who does feed on my cost. It bothers me not if people wear my garments, for such outward things dwell not in my desire. But if it is be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive." Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is often said that the last is reserved for the best. My emails, just as my daddy, Baba Shege, has told us. This is the part I want to read to you now. My immense and internal appreciation goes to my amiable husband, my mentor, my motivator, my oxygen. In this crusade, and the love of my life. Without whom I will not be what I am today. His Excellency, Atiku GCON, for providing me with the enabling environment, the wherewithal, the necessary support, the proverbial life jacket, and the needed encouragement. Daddy, thank you for believing in my ability and capability. To get things done with desired results and maximum impact. If there is another opportunity to choose a husband in another man, I will not hesitate to choose you again and again and again. Daddy, I am grateful, and may God continue to bless you richly. Finally, to our Creator, and most importantly, I give all glory to Almighty God for all His sufficient grace, for His mercies, and for His divine enablement to go this far in this crusade, and for keeping us alive and well to witness a great day like this. Let me confess here that Worldcare modest accomplishments we are not attained by our powers, our wisdom, or our mind, but by the grace of the Almighty God, without whom we cannot do nothing. May His name be praised forever. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, stakeholders here present, ladies and gentlemen, as we sample this moment of World Cup 25th anniversary celebration today, I enjoin us to continue to work in concert and take every step humanly possible to safeguard our women, our children, and other vulnerable Nigerians from crude exploitation and child trafficking. One Life is proud. I'm pleased to have this opportunity to be your partner in the pursuit of this shared goal. Together, we shall win. Once again, I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, my daddy, my husband, for coming, for identifying with us on this auspicious occasion. God bless us all.